Every year, more than 700,000 people around the world lose their lives because of the bite of a tiny creature. This bite comes from these creatures we're looking at, mosquitoes. By transmitting diseases like malaria, dengue, and Zika, they are among the deadliest threats to humans. This tiny creature has had a huge impact on history. For example, it even played a role in the American War of Independence and the fall of the Roman Empire. But mosquitoes aren't the only hidden killers in the heart of nature. In this video, we journey into the dark and dangerous world of animals, each of which poses a threat to human life in its own way, from large predators to small and poisonous creatures. Now, let's get to know these killers of nature together. Of course, today we're only going to look at 5 of them, but this video will definitely have more episodes. So, as we mentioned, mosquitoes cause the deaths of between 700,000 to 1 million people every year by transmitting diseases like malaria, dengue, and Zika. But let's get a little more familiar with each of these diseases and the mosquitoes that transmit them. Malaria is a disease that is transmitted by the Anopheles mosquito. According to statistics from the World Health Organization, in 2023, there were about 263 million reported cases of malaria, which led to the deaths of more than 597,000 people. In Africa, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, this disease is still like a fire smoldering under the ashes. Dengue fever is another viral disease that is transmitted by Aedes aegypti mosquitoes. The Aedes aegypti mosquito may look very small and not scary at all, but it's a silent killer. Because aside from dengue fever, this mosquito also transmits several other dangerous diseases like the Zika virus, yellow fever, and chikungunya. Interestingly, in this type of mosquito, only the females bite because they need the protein in blood to lay eggs. But the males love fruit juice and nectar. Plus, unlike many other mosquitoes that are active at night, this one bites during the day, especially in the morning and afternoon. It also loves urban life and easily lays its eggs in water containers, swamp coolers, flower pots, and even stored water bottles. So, you could say that this mosquito isn't dangerous by itself, but because of the viruses it transmits. Now, let's talk a bit more about the Zika disease, which is spread by this same Aedes aegypti mosquito. Zika doesn't usually kill adults, but it can cause severe brain and skull deformities in unborn babies. In medical terms, Zika infection during pregnancy can lead to birth defects and a condition called microcephaly. It's important to know that the outbreak of Zika in Latin America and the Caribbean caused widespread global concern. Now, let me reveal a truly shocking fact right here. Statistically, mosquitoes are deadlier than all crocodiles, snakes, sharks, and even Komodo dragons. What does that mean? It means that if you're looking for the most dangerous animal in the world, maybe you should pay more attention to that nighttime buzzing than to the roar of a predator in the jungle. Let's move on to this figure. Snakes. Every year, they cause the deaths of between 50,000 and 140,000 people worldwide. These statistics have been published by the World Health Organization, or WHO, and include cases that occurred due to venomous snake bites and the lack of proper treatment. But this is just the mortality rate. The number of people who suffer amputations, paralysis, or permanent disabilities is much higher, around 400,000 people each year. Now, it might be interesting to know where most of the victims are from. India ranks first in deaths caused by snake bites. In fact, in India, nearly 50 people die every day from snake bites. Africa, Southeast Asia, and Latin America are also other high-risk regions. But the main reasons for these deaths are the lack of enough anti-venom, weak healthcare systems, and living close to snake habitats. On the other hand, identifying the snake and the type of venom is also very complicated, and the treatment needs to be precise. Unfortunately, many of the victims live in countries that don't even have ambulances, and it takes several hours for them to reach a hospital. Now that we've mentioned these things, let me introduce you to one of the most dangerous snakes right here. Its name is the saw-scaled viper, scientifically known as Echis carinatus, or as it's better known, the Jafari snake. The body of this snake is small, rough, and serrated. When the snake feels threatened or wants to give a warning, it coils its body into an S shape, and the rough scales rub against each other, creating a rasping, hissing sound. It's just like the sound of two pieces of sandpaper or the edges of saw blades being scraped together. This sound serves as an audible warning for predators and humans. Basically, before attacking, it lets you know not to come any closer or else things will get bad for you. Even though this little viper might not look as scary as other vipers and deadly snakes. But a combination of deadly venom, aggressive behavior, and wide distribution has led to a high number of fatalities being attributed to it. This viper's habitat is in India, the Middle East, and Africa. Its bite is also venomous and can cause internal bleeding, kidney failure, and death. This snake is considered one of the 4 famous snakes in India that are responsible for most snakebite deaths. In fact, it is estimated that more than half of the deaths caused by snake bites in India are due to this snake. Now it's time to talk about dogs. Even though they are known for their loyalty, sometimes they can become dangerous, especially when rabies is involved. Dogs might bite because of their defensive instincts. Although death directly from a dog attack is rare, rabies, which is transmitted through bites or scratches, kills many people in countries in Africa and Asia. According to statistics from the World Health Organization, 99% of human rabies cases are caused by dogs. In fact, by transmitting the rabies virus, dogs cause the deaths of about 25,000 people each year. Most of these cases occur in developing countries and in areas where there is poor control over stray dog populations. Now, the 4th case might seem a bit strange to you. I want to talk about this one, the freshwater snail. Maybe when you hear the word snail, you think of a calm, harmless creature that just crawls on leaves. But some freshwater snails are actually the main carriers of one of the deadliest tropical diseases. What's the name of the disease? Well, I'll tell you. Schistosomiasis, or snail fever. This disease is caused by worm-shaped parasites called schistosomes. These parasites live and reproduce inside the human body, causing severe damage to internal organs, especially the liver, kidneys, intestines, and in some cases, even the bladder and nervous system. You should know that when people come into contact with contaminated water that contains these freshwater snails, the parasites can enter the human body even through healthy, unbroken skin. This disease is more common in tropical and subtropical regions, and it claims the lives of about 20,000 people each year. Let's move on to number 5 on our list. The assassin bug, also known as the kissing bug, carries a deadly parasite called Trypanosoma cruzi, which causes a mysterious disease known as Chagas disease that kills about 10,000 people each year. Countries like Bolivia, Argentina, Brazil, and Mexico have the highest rates of this disease. Interestingly, this insect also has a less scary name. It's called the kissing bug. The reason for this name is that it usually bites around a person's mouth. Now, let's get to know Chagas disease a little better. This disease is transmitted to humans through the bite of the assassin bug, specifically through the bug's contaminated feces. What does that mean? It means that the bug defecates on the skin at the same time as it bites. Then, when a person unconsciously scratches the bite, the parasite enters the body through the wound or the eye. It's important to know that this disease can be transmitted from mother to fetus through contaminated blood or even via organ transplants. Even more importantly, this disease can remain hidden for a long time and only show symptoms after irreversible damage has occurred. But what is that damage? Heart failure, irregular heartbeat, enlargement of the esophagus or intestines, and ultimately, death. Now that we've reached this point in the video, I should say that understanding the real dangers of animals requires awareness and respect for nature, because most animals only become dangerous when they feel threatened or when their territory is invaded. But what experiences have you had encountering dangerous animals? Be sure to share your experiences in the comments section. But prevention is always better than cure. Sometimes, by using a simple net or pesticide, or even by repairing walls and roofs, you can prevent many dangerous diseases. When we go hiking or spend time in nature, we need to make sure we're wearing proper shoes and clothing, because a lot of bites and stings from venomous snakes happen due to carelessness like this. And when it comes to dogs, if you have a pet dog, don't forget to get them vaccinated against rabies. And if you live in an area with a lot of stray dogs, you should be careful and avoid getting close to them.